Okay, you've just come from your station. You have something that looks like this. This is kind of too fibrous. It's the husks, and so we need a little bit of something to bind it together. So we've got cattails and regular paper. I just made a sheet, and so the sheet I made, there's already leftover fiber. You're not going to get all the fiber out every time. So if you see this kind of cloudy stuff, that's a lot of the cotton and this. You don't want too much of that because it'll gum up your screen and it won't come off, but you need some of it to stick it together. So I would suggest putting this in the tiniest bit at a time, and if there's already been used some in, go ahead and see what it looks like without it, because you can always redo it. So I'm just going to take about this much, and again, just if you are putting it in, put like a tiny little pinch of this. And then you take your hand and you mush it around. If you're putting these two things in, you really have to mush it around because they stick together, and you want it distributed evenly in the water. So this still looks kind of white, so I think there's enough in there. So I take, this is called the mold. It's got the screen on it. You use the top side, not the bottom side, and you put the decal right on top of that. And then you give it a last swish so that all the fibers are floating in the water. You scoop it kind of underneath it, and you kind of let it settle for a little bit, and then slowly pull straight up. So this is probably a little bit thick, but we're gonna, I just messed up. And that's the thing, with the fibers that I just put in, you saw how much I used. That might have been a little bit much, so when you're on your attempts, maybe start with a little bit less. Okay? So after you get something like that, you drain the water out. After it drains, you're going to take a sponge on the backside very gently. You don't want to push too hard because you can't break the screen. And you soak some of the water out. And keep drying your sponge. Shoot. You can see in here, I don't know if you can see in here, there's lots of holes. That means that I probably don't have enough of the paper or the cotton in there. So what I'm going to need to do is just rinse this off back into the bucket. Take a little bit like that. Sorry, I wanted this to be fast, but it's good to show you because it doesn't always work. Take a little, just a tiny little bit. Really mush it in. All right. All right, that looks better. So you do the same. First you let the water drain out before you use the sponge. I'm just trying to go fast. Gently, gently take the sponge. Keep bringing it out into the water so that you can absorb more moisture. Then what you're going to do is you already have a paper towel with your name on it. Put the name side up. You take the decal off your mold. Take your mold and you flip it down straight onto the paper. You take your sponge and you soak up some more moisture. Always putting it back in here. Then you're trying to push the fibers onto the paper towel. And really pay attention to the edges and the corners because that's where it's going to stick. Once you've done that, hold onto your paper towel and slowly pull. You don't want to go too fast, just slowly pull away. And you should have a piece of paper. Good luck.